Youth Development Minister Kenson Casimir appears to have been taken aback by the stinging criticism of the National Youth Council. Casimir says upon assuming office, he reached out to the youth organization and assured its members that their contributions are always valued.
I thought it was very curious that those statements were being made, considering the tumultuous sort of level of activities that befell the NYC over the last 3 years. As the newly elected Minister of Youth Development and Sport, I made myself available to the NYC. I was the one who called for the first meeting after they were elected, not them, to sit at the table. And at that meeting, I made it abundantly clear that I, as the Minister of Youth, would be available for them whenever there were any areas of contention to sit at the table and discuss how we move forward. I had to find out about any sort of tug of war through the media. I checked my phone, there was no call from the NYC. There was no email from the NYC. There was no WhatsApp message from the NYC indicating that, hey, Minister, you have said and you have drew nigh to us to hear some of our issues. You've said and you've committed to us that we can sit at the table and discuss them. Let's have a discussion about the battle relay. This was not done.
The National Youth Council complains that its suggestions are not being taken seriously. The Youth Development Minister, Kenson Casimir, disagrees and considers the mention of corruption in the NYC's criticism to be out of order and unwarranted.
I thought it was very curious that this was the first opportunity the NYC used to actually mention the word corruption. I thought it was curious that a battle relay or strides of unity was used as a method of putting out anything to do with corruption in St. Lucia, considering $7 million from the previous administration was taken for a vaccine that we've not recovered. That money could have gone into the works of the NYC. I did not hear any comment from them on these issues that we've been going through as a country. And I just thought it was curious that at the end of the day, that so many individuals that were part of the NYC before seem to have surreptitiously filtered their way through the NYC and, for lack of a better way of describing it, had their strings being pulled. Because I think it's something that we could have had discussion on and we could have made a lot of progress on, because this government is really committed to listening to what young people have to say and making them as included in what we do as possible.
Much of the fallout with the administration centers on the national baton relay and the origin of the idea. Some members of the NYC claim that the idea was hijacked from the organization and other people were taking credit for it. The Minister for Housing, Richard Frederick, who spearheaded the initiative, dismissed the suggestion that the idea was copied. The Youth Development Minister says the participation of everyone, young and old, is the overriding concern.
It meant that we were coming together as a country to get things done, even if it's from the youth movement. And what we've seen with the battle relay is that young people are involved, middle-aged people are involved, the elderly, persons from all sectors are involved. And I'm not sure why we would have a tug of war, a wrestle for who should be spearheading it if at the end of the day we already have something where everybody is included.
This is not the first time that the National Youth Council and the Ministry of Health have fallen out. The two entities need to work in harmony for the betterment of St. Lucia's youth. Stanley Lucian for the HTS News Force.